This morning, we're going to start our video a little bit differently. I'm in my dining room at my coffee sidebar, and I just wanted to show you how I have this trio of gnomes displayed. And I usually have whatever gnome series I'm working on at the time displayed here at the coffee bar. And today we're going to add Petunia to this set of Hayseed Hank and Pete Moss. We're going to add Petunia, and I'm going to show you how to make Petunia so you can have a complete set and display them. I've got the wheelbarrow, and she's got her watering can, and their various embellishments. And after I do this little piece here to show you how I have them set up on my coffee bar, I'm going to take you to my studio and show you what materials we'll need to make Petunia. Okay? So here we are in the studio again, and I'm going to show you the materials that we need to make Petunia. We want to start with 2 pieces of tan felt that are 6x6, and we need a 6x2 piece of chocolate brown felt, and we need a 17 by 5.5 inch piece of the fuzzy felt. And then we have some little trim pieces. I need you to be able to use a 2 by 1.5 inch, 2 pieces of 1.5 by 1/4 inch of green for pockets on the overalls, and 1.5 by 2 inch pockets. There's 4 of those. And then I had found some beads that I could use for the buckles of the overalls, if you have anything like that available. And then you use 3 6x6 pieces of the oatmeal felt for the hands and nose. And that's optional. You could use white or cream or yellow or tan or whatever color you want to. And then we're going to use this cardboard piece that I cut out from cardboard, and it's a 5 inch on the outside and 3 inches on the inside. So we'll need that piece. And then we'll need a 6x6 piece of burlap. And 2 10-inch by 1/2 inch pieces of green again. We need a 12 or just a little piece for a patch, a little optional size piece for a patch, and then 2 8x6 pieces of burlap for the hat, a little miscellaneous flower for the hat. And also I need another miscellaneous flower and a bigger flower to embellish down by her hands. Her watering bucket, which is a St. Patrick's Day pot that I use for shoes. I just took them and spray painted them with Rust-Oleum spray paint in silver, and spray painted them to make them into watering cans. So that's how those came about. And then we need 2 3x4 pieces of the fur, the curly fur for her hair. And when I say 2 3x4 pieces, I'm measuring the backing of the hair, not all the way down where the hair goes. Just this backing part should be 3 by 4 inches. And then we're going to use a pair of men's dress socks from the Dollar Tree in tan, and just the bottom of a Dr. Scholl's sock that I get at Walmart for the body, some blush for her nose, some glue sticks, some flat marbles, some rubber bands, some jute, and scissors and a glue gun. And that should be it. So I'm going to clear some of these things away from the table, give myself some room, and we'll be right back with you. So the first thing I want to do on this gnome is to make the body. And I know you're all really familiar with making the body, but we're going to put the body together. I'm going to put it on fast forward. And so if you aren't familiar with how we put the body together, you can watch and see that. I'm just going to put the marbles in the bottom of this Dr. Scholl's sock that I get at Walmart. And then I'm going to fill it with polyester fiber fill and fasten it at the top, making an 8-inch body. I want it to be 8 inches when I'm done filling it up. So we'll be right back with you. So I'm going to make the nose, which is the same way I make the hands. I'm going to make the hands later. But right now we're just going to put some polyester fiber fill in the middle of our 6x6 piece of oatmeal felt. And then use your thumb to push it up and kind of round it out. Take a rubber band around it. And then I wanted to try to show you that if you bring your rubber band up higher, the higher up you bring the rubber band, the smaller the nose becomes. So if you think you've got it made too big, you can just bring your rubber band up higher around when you're tying it up, and it'll make it smaller. See how nice and round that nose is? So you kind of get used to it after you've done it a few times, but that's just bring your rubber band up higher as you're putting it on. Then you want to cut the bottom off. Now, again, this is the same way we make the hands. I'm not going to show how to make the hands in a few minutes. Again, I'll fast forward through it. Since I showed how to make the nose. So the next thing we're going to do is attach to the nose. Put some glue on there. And just lay it right in there and let it set up. I'll be right back with you. So the next thing I want to do is make the arms. And this is a pair of Dollar Tree men's dress socks that I had shown you earlier. I'm going to cut them right above the heel. And we'll use these bottoms for another gnome project. So we want to take these tops of the socks that will become the sleeves now and fill them with just a little bit of the polyester fiber fill. I think we'll put a little bit more on this one here. And then what you want to do is take your rubber bands and fasten them off. We'll start with the top, which is a part that you will be gluing onto the gnome. And we'll just fasten that shut. And then we'll put one down around the cuffs. The top of the sock becomes the cuff of the sleeve. And we'll put a rubber band around there. And then the third rubber band we'll put right in the middle, just to give it a little bit more interest. Kind of like the spot where the elbow would be. There's our two arms. I'm going to cuff them back just a little bit and cut out that extra fiber fill that got in there. Clean it out so we can glue in the hands. And then I'm going to make the hands with the other two pieces of the 6x6 oatmeal felt. We're going to make the hands. Now, the hands are made just like I made the nose. So I'm going to do that on fast forward and be right back with you. So now what we're going to do is glue the hands inside the cuffs. About like that. What you want to do is put your glue right on the top of the hand right there, or the bottom of the hand, and then around the rubber band. And lay it right in there. And hold the sock up around the rubber band and let that set up for a minute. I'm going to do that to both the arms and I'll be right back with you. So I've got both arms done now. I wanted them to measure 7 inches, and they measure 7 inches right down to the end of the hand, which gives us an idea where we want to be. And I'm going to start gluing the arms on now. You want to put them right on the back like that. Attach them right on the middle of the back of that stub that sticks out. And let them set up. So let me get this one started. And then I'll fast forward it while I do the other one. Put it right down there and let it set up for a few minutes. Be right back with you. Okay, we've got the arms glued on. Everything looks pretty good. I want to put some jute around the rubber bands. So I'm going to do that. Just wrap it around about 3 times. And I'm going to do that to all 4 rubber bands. So I have 3 more to do. So I'll be right back with you when I get those done. Okay, I've got the jute put around all the rubber bands on the arms. And I want to put her overalls on next. We want to use that piece that was 17 inches by 5.5 inches. It's like a fuzzy felt, gold color felt. And that's a piece you want to use. It's 17.5 inches. I'm sorry, 17 inches by 5.5 inches. Should get us pretty close to where we want to be. And what you want to do is take that piece, fold it right in half. It's pretty simple. What you want to do is cut the opening for the bib overalls that are going to go up right on her head. So I just freehand it, cut it like that. You don't want it to be too far down. I went down about an inch. We're going to go over maybe 1.5 inches. And so it should look like that. And then we'll put it over the top here, which we're going to have a hat and hair and everything else on this. But we wanted to fit this the best we could before we put the hat and the hair on there. Okay, so I'm going to be right back with you. So once you have the overalls kind of positioned how you want them on there, I had to go back and trim off about 1/4 inch on the bottom of these overalls from what the measurement I gave you will get you really close, and you may have to adjust a little bit here and there to get them just how you want them. So what we want to do now is we want to glue this inseams down on both sides, and I always start gluing by starting right at the bottom with the hem to make sure it goes across right to meet each other perfectly, and then work your way up from there. So I'm going to start doing this and get up to the top, and then I'm going to fast forward through the second part of this. Now the reason why I came up with making Petunia was because a friend of mine named Cammie suggested that I make a girl gnome to go with Pete and Hank. So I thought that was a good idea. So I came up with Petunia. Thank you, Cammie, for suggesting that. So I've got that all glued like that, and we're going to do that to the other side, so I'll be right back with you. So now we're going to do the pockets, the insert to show that, make it look like pants on her, and the little buttons on the tops of their overalls that look like fasteners. So we're going to do that right now. And I'll show you how on her, so you can see that, how I put the little insert on the front and back of the overalls so it looks like pants. Otherwise it would look like a dress. And then the pockets on the front and back, little beads on the pockets to show little closures on them. Little pockets at the top of the overalls, and then little beads. We're going to do all those right now. So we're going to start by taking that 2x6 piece of chocolate brown felt, and we just want to take it Maybe fold it in half. And cut little pant inserts. Like that. And then lay it down. Find the middle. Make sure that hem is exactly the same. Bring it up like that, and that's how we're going to glue it. We're going to do that on both sides. Then we want to put some pockets on there. We've got four 2-inch by 1.5-inch pieces of green felt. It's kind of a avocado green, I guess. More natural looking color. And we just want them low enough that the hair doesn't cover them up. I don't glue the top opening of the pocket, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Just the 3 sides. We'll let those set up while we do the other side. A little glue there. I'm going to glue that top of that insert down a little bit more. Now this is the front again. I'm doing the top corners so they're nice and secure. And then I had made two 1.5 inch by 1/4 inch pieces. This is just roughly pockets for the top. A lot of felt work on this one. Now above, like where the strap would be for the arm, what word do I want? The buckle, I guess. The strap would be up here at the top. I put the little beads, trying to get them, stay close enough to the middle that they didn't get lost underneath where the hair is going to go. And then on the back pockets, I did them like little buttons on the back pockets. I thought that was cute. I just happen to have a bead box that I can grab some of these out of. I don't, this is just an optional thing. Just a little bit of an extra detail. Now the next thing we're going to do is put the hair on. I'm going to make the ponytails. Someone had asked me pretty recently in comments how to do the hair. So this is a good video. I hope you're watching to be able to see how I'm doing the hair. I'm using two 3x4 pieces of fur. 3x4 measuring the backing only. Pieces of fur for the ponytails on this one. So what you want to do is you want to start the ponytail by just running the glue across the border of the backing and just folding it over. And just rub your hand down on it, the direction that the hair goes. Let that set up for a second. And then just about 1/4 inch up, do it again. Fold it over. Smooth it out with your hand. Do it again. And then one more time, right on the edge. This is a really pretty kind of fur to do the girls' ponytails with. It's very long. It's really nice. It's harder to find this fur, and I'm getting really low on it myself, and is pretty popular. It's pretty popular for. That's how you make a ponytail. And then on this one, we're going to do green bows in it. So I'm using a little green rubber band. And then just holding it to where you can feel underneath. You can feel the base of the ponytail underneath in there, the backing. And you want to take the ponytail and just put it above where that backing is. And that's how you do that ponytail. You take a piece of the felt that I cut for the ponytail. I did it kind of long so there'll be room to tie it. It's one of the two 10.5 inch, if you can see that, the two 10.5 inch pieces that I cut for the bows, for the ties. And then I just tie them around there. And then I just take a little bit of glue and glue the one piece down like that. You can see what I'm doing. Let that set up for a minute. Just glued that one piece down. And then I'm going to take and trim these the length that I wanted them, which was not extremely long. About like that. So we have one ponytail made. And I'll be right back with you. I'll have the other one made and we'll put them on. Okay, so I've got the hair pieces done. But I just remembered that I didn't do the blush on the nose. So we're going to stop for a second before we put the hair on and do some blush on the nose. I just did a little bit on her. But it's really cute, I think. So we'll just put a little bit on her. About like that. I didn't want to get the blush in the hair. So I wanted to make sure I got it as soon as possible. So let's put the hair on, glue it right there on both sides. There it goes. I'll let that set up and I'll put the other one on and I'll be right back with you. Okay, well, we've got the hair pieces setting up really well. We're going to start the hat. We're going to take 2 pieces of 8x6 burlap that we've used before for the hat and start the top of the hat. What we want to do is put the 2 pieces together and cut them out like a Christmas tree. Like that. And then when you glue it, we're using the same idea that we used when we did Hank's hat and Pete's hat. We're going to leave that inch opening at the bottom of the hat. So I'll start at the top, and then I'll stop an inch before we get to the bottom. Well, right there, we'll stop it. And tap, tap, tap on that glue because you don't have a lot protecting your fingers right here. And then go to the other side and do the same thing, leaving about an inch down here without glue on it. Leave it open. Now I'm going to let that set up while we do the bottom part of the hat. What we want to do, in lieu of having the straw hat to do this project, I decided to do a hat from scratch and show you how to not have to order a straw hat if you didn't feel like you wanted to order a straw hat. This is a way you could do it just from scratch. The first thing you want to do is you want to find a piece of cardboard that's kind of thick, and cut it out a 5-inch circle around the outside and a 3-inch circle around the middle. I did this to this piece of cardboard, made a few different rims, and I used my scissors, and in the middle I used my X-Acto knife very carefully. So that's how I came about these rims. The first thing you want to do is you want to take your 2 6x6 pieces of tan felt, and you want to glue them to both the front and the back of the rim. I'm going to show you, if I can get rid of this piece of tape, a hat that I already made. This is a real cute hat that I made using this method with a brim on it. And you know what that would really be cute for too, is a witch's hat. If you did this in black at Halloween time, it would make a perfect witch's hat. So keep that in mind too. And then I went ahead and made the brim ahead of time to save time on this hat. So what you want to do is you want to glue your pieces on both sides, cut it around the edge, cut out the middle, and then take that piece and glue on your burlap. This is to show on the top of the hat. Glue on your burlap and then cut it out, and then that's where you'll be. You'll be with this, have this piece. So that's where we're going to start with, this piece here. So you take this piece, and what you want to do is take your jute and trim it out. What you're going to have to go around, I saved this part to show you. You're going to have to go around and glue all this together. Glue it together all the way around. And after you get that done, you want to go around the edge and put the jute on and just glue that right on the edge. All the way around. So what I'm doing is I'm going around and I'm closing these all up, closing this all up, putting a little glue on here and closing this up where you can see the cardboard and the felt. Close all that up, and then I'm taking and I'm putting a little bit of glue on the edge. And I'm putting the jute on that little bit of glue. And I'm going to do that all the way around this hat rim, and then I'll be back with you. Okay, we've got the brim all glued around the edge and the jute put on there. And what we want to do next is we have this hat piece setting up off to the side, so it should be set up pretty well now. We're going to turn it right side out. Now I can see that some of my edges frayed a little bit with the burlap on the top part, which is fine. I'm going to leave it that way because that's the type of hat it is. It's patched up, a well-worn hat. And so what we want to do now is we want to take and put the top of the brim, which is the burlap side of the rim, goes on. You slip that on this like that. Turn it over. And what you want to do is glue this part of the hat onto the bottom of the rim. And you don't want to worry about getting over on the edges because we're going to trim it up when we're done. I'm just going to put the glue right on the rim itself and then hold it down very carefully. And you want to just trim off the edges. I'm going to glue this a little bit more. Trim off the edges. Make sure it's really flat. Then we're going to put our polyester fiber fill inside. You want to make sure when you're shopping for your burlap for these hats, that you get the tight weave burlap piece to go in the top of the hat. Otherwise, you'd be able to see your polyester fiber fill. And then the looser weave burlap can go on the rim of the hat. I had both kinds, and I thought it'd be kind of interesting to use both of them, so I did. So you want to get your polyester fiber fill in that hat. And then what we want to do is we want to glue a patch on it somewhere, anywhere you want. This is the glue from my hands getting on the patch. And I'll take a little bit of jute and box in that patch like I have on here. You want to box it in. Just cut your pieces like that. And glue them and box that in, and I'll be right back with you. So now I've got the patch boxed in with the jute, and I want to put a little piece of jute coming off the top of the hat. I just take and tie about the size that I'm going to want. Cut it like that, and then untwist it a little bit. And I'll glue that right on the top of the hat. Like that. Let me trim it all a little bit. It's up to you. Then you want to put that flower, that miscellaneous flower, go steal it out of our arrangement somewhere. Right there, and then the hat's done. So the next thing we're going to do is put on the hat. See how cute that's going to be? We're going to put on the hat by putting a little glue on the front of the nose. And let that set up, and I'll be right back with you to finish gluing on the hat. Okay, so the hat is glued to the front of the nose, to the top of the nose, right about where you want it. It's pretty much like the first one, as far as how much nose is going to be shown. And then what we want to do is glue it on both sides, the hat between the top of the overalls. I'm going to put a little glue right on the underneath of the hat. Maybe stick my finger right in there and hold the two together and let that set up. And then I'm going to do that to the other side. and look and see how it looks like how we're doing on the back. So I'll be right back with you. What I wanted to do too before I put the last embellishments on was I don't want this arm to end up being out this far. I want it to be in a little bit more. And so how we do that is we just put a little bit of glue underneath the arm. Probably about where the jute is will be good. Put a little bit of glue there. And then I'm going to hold it down. In the end, her arm will be out farther than this, but this will hold it down a little bit so it's not out in the air so far. Because this arm doesn't hold an embellishment. It has its watering can underneath it. So I need to set that up, and I'll just be right back. Got the arm glued down, and see it looks much better. More natural. Now, I just remembered I didn't tell you yet about why I left the pocket tops open. And that's because I put a little polyester fiber fill in the pocket to give them a little bit more shape. Looks like there's something in her pocket. And tuck it down pretty good so you can't see what it is. And that's just a real extra detail. You put it in her back pockets if you want. Put it in one pocket. Whatever you want to do. But that's an idea for you. So, the next thing we want to do is put the flowers underneath her arm. And just glue the stem and the arm and the body together with the red one. And then we'll put the white one in there on the side. So I'm going to put glue on it like this. On all the sides of the stem. And then I'm just going to put it in there between the arm and the body. And then let that set up. And it won't take too long to set up. I didn't put that much glue on there. And then we're going to tuck this white one in there. And then the watering can, like I said, was just one of the same little pots that I used to make the shoes that we get at Dollar Tree at St. Patrick's Day. It's just one of these little pots. And I spray painted it with some Rust-Oleum silver spray paint to make it look like a little watering bucket. And then I just took a permanent marker in brown and I wrote water on it. So there's no doubt about what that is. And I set it there on the display. And that is it. She's done. She turned out really nice, I think. So now I have two petunias and I have two Hanks and two Petes. But this is the set here. This is what to display, this set here. And I would show you how to make this wheelbarrow, but I just sat down and put it together and I don't know if I could do it again. It's, you just kind of sit down with your popsicle sticks and work with them with your hot glue gun until you got something that looks like a wheelbarrow. And I hope you learned everything you wanted to about making Petunia. And if you have any other questions, leave it in the comments. And I appreciate you coming by today. And if you liked the video, make sure to like.